ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you on behalf of the Bar Association of Sri Lanka to this important first forum organized to elaborate and further explain our position as set out in our letter of 25th May 2026 addressed to His Excellency the President, which I think all of you now have a copy of also, where the BSA raised its objection to the discussed ad hoc amendment to the Constitution seeking to extend the retirement age of judges of the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal. By this letter, we have requested His Excellency the President and the government not to proceed with any proposed amendment as being discussed. At the outset, I must extend my sincere appreciation to our distinguished speakers who would follow, who will elaborate the conceptual and practical underpinning of the position taken by the Bar Association. I also thank each and every one of you for taking the time to be present this Saturday morning. Your attendance reflects the importance of the issue that we are all here to discuss. And at the outset, let me make one matter absolutely clear. The Bar Association of Sri Lanka's position on this issue is one of constitutional principle. It is not directed against any individual judge. It is not directed against any political party or government, nor is it based on who presently occupies judicial office. We all know governments change, judges retire, political parties alternate in office. Constitutional principles, however, must remain constant. And that is why we are all here today. The Bar Association of Sri Lanka has, throughout its history, regarded the protection of the rule of law and the independence of the judiciary as among its highest objectives and responsibilities. Whenever those values have appeared to be under challenge, irrespective of the government of the day, the Bar Association has considered it a duty to speak and advocate on the same. We have done so consistently, not because it is always popular, but because it is necessary and vital. It is in that context, ladies and gentlemen, that we meet today to elaborate the position of the Bar as we initially articulated in our letter of 25th May 2026 to His Excellency the President. All of you, as I mentioned before, have a copy of this letter now. And if I may draw attention to some things we have said in that letter that I believe will be useful at the commencement of this forum. We have noted with grave concern reports in the public domain that the government is considering the introduction of the amendment to achieve this purpose. We have said that it is the considered view of the BSL that the age of retirement of judges of the Court of Appeal and Supreme Court should not be changed arbitrarily, and that such a change is neither necessary or desirable. We have also said that to do so will result in the loss of public confidence in the integrity of the legal system and of the government's commitment to preserve and protect the rule of law and the independence of the judiciary. And we have also said that it is likely that members of the public will question the motives of the government in bringing in a constitutional amendment solely for this purpose. We have also drawn attention to the fact that in 2020, that is the 20th Amendment on the 29th of October 2020, the number of judges of the Court of Appeal was increased from 12 to 20, including the President of the Court of Appeal, and in respect to the Supreme Court, from 11 to 17, including the Chief Justice. With such enhancement, we have said, work-wise, there cannot be a real requirement to extend the retirement ages of these judges. We are also presently confronted with a parallel issue where there are 4 vacancies, both in the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, which has been now pending for some time. We have also invited attention of His Excellency the President and the government to the fact that for many years in Sri Lanka's constitutional history, we have witnessed ad hoc amendments, sometimes in order to cater to the political needs of the government in power, and often contrary to the interests of the rule of law, the independence of the judiciary and the judiciary itself. We have in this communication, we have also said that it is likely to be viewed, this amendment, by the public as a blatant attempt to interfere with the judiciary. And that we believe that such an ad hoc move will also be an affront to the sitting honorable judges of these two courts. We have said that if the government goes ahead with such a move, it will set a dangerous precedent for future governments to introduce ad hoc amendments to the Constitution in respect of the functions of the judiciary. The independence of judiciary and the public confidence reposed in it are indispensable pillars of the rule of law and the democratic framework of our republic, and I'm sure every one of us agree with that statement. And it is in that light that the Bar Association has moved and requested His Excellency the President and the government not to go ahead with this proposed amendment and change. Ladies and gentlemen, today's discussion revolves around the stated position of the Bar Association and is an effort to create broader discussion and consensus on this matter of utmost significance. The question before us is not simply whether the retirement age of the respected judges should be 65, 67, or 70. Reasonable people may differ on that question. But the more fundamental question is whether the constitutional provisions governing the tenure of judges who already hold office and are sitting should be altered, and what effect such a change may have upon judicial independence and public confidence. There are many moments in a nation's constitutional history when public institutions are tested. And Sri Lanka has experienced many such moments. There have been periods when public confidence in the executive has been questioned. There have also been periods when confidence in the legislature has also been tested. Yet, throughout many of those difficult years, one institution continued to command the confidence of the people, and that is the judiciary. When constitutional boundaries become uncertain, when individual rights require protection, and when citizens believed that every other avenue had been exhausted, they continued to look to and seek redress from the courts. And it is important to note that that confidence did not arise overnight. It is earned over decades through the integrity of judges, adherence to constitutional principle, and the steadfast commitment of the courts to administer justice according to law. Public confidence of this nature is one of the judiciary's greatest strengths. It must therefore be protected with utmost care. Judicial independence is not merely a constitutional doctrine. It is a foundation upon which every citizen's right to a fair hearing depends. People obey court orders because they believe that the courts are independent, impartial, and free from external influence. And it must not only exist in fact, it must also exist in public perception. This is why even the appearance of constitutional arrangements being altered in a manner that could affect judicial independence deserves careful consideration. Ladies and gentlemen, the issue, therefore, is larger than a single constitutional amendment. It concerns a confidence which the public places in one's republic's most important institution. And history reminds us that whenever judicial independence has appeared to be under pressure, the consequences have extended far beyond the courts themselves. The Bar Association of Sri Lanka has on previous occasions spoken firmly against actions that undermine public confidence in the judiciary. We have done so regardless of the political circumstances of the day. Our position today arises from the very same commitment. Constitutions are intended to provide stability. They are not merely legal documents, they are expressions of enduring values by which a nation governs itself. But constitutional amendments are also sometimes necessary. Indeed, Constitutions must evolve to meet changing circumstances. However, changes affecting institutions as fundamental as the judiciary should be approached with greatest care, following careful reflection, broad consultation, and clear demonstration of necessity. Constitutional change should always strengthen institutions, never weaken public confidence in them. Ultimately, today's discussion is not about personalities. It is not about politics. It is about institutions. It is about ensuring that constitutional principles remain stronger than temporary political circumstances. It is about preserving the confidence which generations of judges have earned through their service to this republic. The Bar Association did not convene this forum to create division. We have convened it because constitutional questions of this importance deserve thoughtful, respectful, and informed discussion. Today, the position of the Bar, as I have said before, is set out in our letter of 25th May 2026 to His Excellency, the President, and will be elaborated and explained by several professionals and members of the legal profession that we have today. I encourage everyone to listen with an open mind and to remember that our shared objective is the preservation of the rule of law, the independence of the judiciary, and public confidence in the administration of justice. As Lord Hewitt once said, not only must justice be done, it must also be seen to be done. Thank you very much.